Hi, this is Charlie Edwards. Please subscribe to Sporting Icon for the latest boxing news.
Now, I know that there's been rumours over the past 2 or 3 days that Charlie Edwards was about to vacate his WBC Flyweight World Title. And while the rumours, the articles and etc., they all seemed pretty legit, what I wanted was to hear it from Charlie Edwards himself as to, yes, this is definitely what's happening. And this morning, that's exactly what he'd done, and I'll put a link to it in the description box for you guys, where Charlie Edwards has in fact vacated his title. And his reasons being that he really struggled to make weight for the last fight with Martinez. Now, ultimately, that fight with Martinez, he didn't look comfortable at all. He did struggle. Of course, he did go down, and then he got hit while he was down. And rightly so, the decision was overturned to make it a no contest. I agree with that decision, but of course, they ordered a rematch. And the rematch, I believe, off the top of my head, was penciled in to be taking place in Monte Carlo on November the 30th. Now, we know that Charlie has been struggling to make weight for a little while now, but quite how bad it was, we didn't know. But Charlie Edwards this morning, he said that the night before the weigh-in, he had to try and lose 5 pounds. And then on the morning of the weigh-in, he had to lose 5 pounds again. So he's really, really been struggling. So him vacating the title is no great surprise. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, he's vacating it because this rematch has been ordered and he doesn't want to fight Martinez, etc., etc., etc. And listen, I have no idea if part of that is true or not, because Martinez did look like he may well have had Charlie Edwards' number. Okay, but ultimately, Charlie Edwards, listen, he's a warrior, and he would rather lose his belt in the ring legitimately, okay, rather than get hit while he's down and then lose his title that way, okay? But listen, is it the right decision? Absolutely. Now, I've been saying it for a while that Charlie Edwards should move up in weight. Now, he's going to be moving up to Super Flyweight, and the only kind of thing that I could really look at is the fact that if he's moving from flyweight to super flyweight, and if he's losing 5 pounds the night before and 5 pounds in the morning of the weigh-in, then between flyweight and super flyweight, there's only 3 pounds. So he's still going to struggle to make the weight for super flyweight. 3 pounds is bugger all. Now, I know in the grand scheme of things for a fighter, every pound helps, okay? But for me, going from flyweight to super flyweight with only 3 pound difference, he's still going to struggle to make the weight. We know Charlie Edwards, he looks ill when he's on the scales. He really does. So him moving up in weight is absolutely fine, but to move up to a weight where it's only 3 pound difference, is that really wise? Because he's still going to struggle to make the weight. He really is. In my mind, I think with Charlie Edwards, he should probably move to bantamweight. I think that if he moves to bantamweight, he's still going to struggle to make the weight. He's still going to have to boil himself down. And that's the thing with all fighters. All fighters, when you're not a heavyweight and that, of course, you should always have to try and bring your weight down. It should always be quite difficult to make weight, okay? Because if you're making weight way too easy, then clearly you're not in the peak condition, okay? Because you do need to lose the weight and then rehydrate, okay? But I do think that it gets to the level of dangerous. And I think that's pretty much the level that Charlie Edwards was at, much like it was with Lewis Ritson. And in my opinion, with Josh Kelly, I think Josh Kelly should move up in weight from welterweight to super welter. Anyway, that aside, I think that Charlie Edwards moving to super flyweight, I don't know if that's really the great move for him. Listen, there are some fantastic fights out there, and if he wants to pursue the WBC and maybe become a 2-weight world champion, he's going to be looking at the likes of Estrada. Estrada's a real difficult fight. Now, bearing in mind, Charlie Edwards, okay, at this point of his career, of his professional career, and let's be honest, he shouldn't even be looking at a world title. He hasn't had enough professional fights to be looking at a world championship. Okay, but he has. His first one, of course, he come up short against Casimero, but he ultimately did become a world champion in a very short period of time. So this lad is an absolute warrior. And if a fight was offered with Estrada, you know Charlie would take it. Of course he would, much like he would with a Rung Vasai up there or a Roman Gonzalez. For me, I wouldn't mind seeing him have the all-British clash with Cal Yafai for the WBA Super Flyweight World Title. I'd love to see that, but I don't quite know how easy that fight would make. Although both of these fighters do fight under the Matchroom banner, I'm not too sure how easy this fight will be, because both of these guys, let's be honest, both of them will have an ego in this one. And Cal isn't going to want to give up the majority of the purse split, and it's all going to come down to money, in my opinion. Now, for me, I think that Charlie Edwards against Calvin fight, that'd be a fantastic fight, as it would with Charlie Edwards versus the IBF champion in Herwin Akaes. I think that would be a very, very interesting fight, and a fight that Charlie Edwards could really, really win, much like with Ioka as well. But it's a real tough weight class, a really, really tough weight class, and the top guys punch very, very hard. And if he's going to be struggling to make the weight, which I believe he will struggle to make this weight, then he could well be in the same kind of position that he was against Martinez, which is why I'm saying that maybe he should move up to bantamweight, because going from flyweight to bantamweight, you're talking £6. So it's still enough for him to have to struggle to make the weight, but it's going to give him a little bit of a breathing space. For me, I think Charlie Edwards would be more suitable at bantamweight. And of course, he would get the opportunity to have a rematch with Casimero. Erase that loss off his record, if you like, avenge that loss. So for me, if I was Charlie Edwards, I'd certainly be looking at that. But at the same time, when you are looking up at that division, then you are looking at the likes of Inoue and fighters like that. So again, I mean, he's in a real tough predicament, but big fights are on the horizon, that is for sure. But listen, he did say he will be going to Super Flyweight. And when you look at, say, Nietes, that's a real tough fight, but it's a big fight. And is it a winnable fight for Charlie? Sure, of course it is. Listen, Charlie is an exceptional fighter, and in my opinion, very, very underrated. But if you put him in with Estrada, you put him in with Rungvisai or Chocolatito, the bookies are going to have these guys as the favourite. Okay, but listen, we'll have to wait and see what route he's going to take. But for me, I think if he's really struggled as badly as what he said to make flyweight, then he's also going to struggle really bad to make superfly, because as I said, only a £3 difference. For me, I think Charlie should move to bantamweight, and there are, of course, big fights up there. But there again, the guys who fight there, when they rehydrate, they're going to be so much bigger than Charlie. So again, it's like a double-edged sword, isn't it, for him? Either way, that's what's going on. He has vacated his WBC Flyweight World Championship. You drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up and, of course, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.